Hello and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred today and years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History,
Historical calendar,
and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show, check the description. Anyway, I am Xander.
I am Monk.
And today is Saturn's Day, also known as Saturday, March 12, 2022.
Going now. Okay, in 538, the Vidiges, king of Ostrogoths, in his siege of Rome and retreats to Ravenna, leaving the city in the hands of the victorious Byzantine general Belisarius.
Nice. Moving on up to 1158, the German city of Munich, or Munichen, was first mentioned as Forum apud Munichen in the Augsburg Arbitration by Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I. Well, look at that.
Munich is not like the medicine you take, the over-the-counter medicine, Mucinex.
Yeah, oh god. Munich is turned into Mucinex. So if you have a stuffy nose, go to Germany. Jumping on up, oh wait, it's your turn, sorry.
Jumping up to 1622, Ignatius of Loyola and Francis Xavier, founders of the Society of Jesus, are canonized by the Roman Catholic Church.
Cool.
Canonized? Canon?
Canonized actually means they were sainted, so like now they're saints.
I know.
Ah.
Like, you get it canonized. Well, Jesus is canon.
Yeah. A lot of cannons. Fire the cannons.
so Jesus is now a manga. That is canon. No, the Bible was a manga.
Well, don't forget, Wabbit season is now canon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on up to 1689, James II of England landed at Kinsale, starting the Williamite War in Ireland. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Williamite. Also, 1811, the Peninsula War. A day after successful rearguard action, French Marshal Miguel Ney once again successfully delayed the pursuing Anglo-Portuguese force at the Battle of Rendina.
Nice. In 1912, the Girl Guides, later renamed the Girl Scouts of the USA, were founded in the United States. Oh, well, happy birthday, Girl Scouts, you bunch of child labor people.
Also in 1913, the future capital of Australia is officially named Canberra.
Cool. 1918, just 5 years after that, Moscow became the capital of Russia again after St. Petersburg had held this status for most of the period since 1713.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is. Also in 1920, the capital putsch begins when the Marine Brigade Ehrenhardt is ordered to march on Berlin.
Well, what is the Marine Brigade Earhart? That sounds like something involving aircraft. I think the music is a little loud. The music is as low as I can make it. There we go. The Marine Brigade Earhart was a Free Corps group of around 6,000 men formed by Captain Hernan Earhart in the aftermath of World War I, also known as the 2nd Marine Brigade for the Earhart Brigade. Interesting. I'm going to add this to the underbar. While I'm adding that, why don't you tell us what happened in... oh, you already did 1920.
I'll do it again.
Okay,
I'll do it again. 1828. St. Francis Dam in California fell, causing the death of 431 people due to the floods. The flood attack.
Damn it. No. The flood.
We should have activated Halo when we had the chance.
Yeah. 2 years later, in 1930, Mahatma Gandhi began the Salt March, which was a 200-mile march to the sea to protest the British monopoly on salt in India. for those of you who do not know, salt used to be a very precious commodity. That's where the term salary came from. Back in ancient Roman days, they used to actually pay their soldiers with salt. So, yeah. 1933, during the Great Depression, Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the nation for the first time as President of the United States. This is also the first of his fireside chats, which I know what those are, but for the viewers who are uneducated about this, the fireside chats were a series of evening radio addresses given by FDR, the 32nd President of the United States, between 1933 and 44. So for 11 years, I'm not sure if it was every night, but it was yeah, he basically just chatted with the people, and that's really cool. Why can't I tab to the right one? Why don't you tell us what happened 5 years after that, Mr. Lunk?
Sure. 5 years after that, 1938, Anschluss German troops occupy and absorb Austria. Ooh.
Dang. What is Anschluss? Anschluss, the German Union, political union of Austria with Germany, achieved through annexation by Adolf Hitler in 1938. Mooted in 1919 by Austria, Anschluss with Germany remained a hope. So, yeah, I'm gonna add this to the underbar if anybody wants to know more about that. But that's pretty interesting. They took him over, annexed him, and then all that stuff. Moving on up to 1940, during the Winter War, Finland signed the Moscow Peace Treaty with the Soviet Union, ceding almost all of Finnish Karelia. I thought the Finns won during the Winter War.
And the only person who won on that fucking war was the White Death.
Yeah, I guess true. Yeah, I need to educate myself more about the Winter War. I don't know much about it.
He got over 500 confirmed kills with a Mosin Nagant out of scope.
Yeah, because the scope would give away his position if the sunlight hit his, hit the glass piece or something. So
he even survived an artillery bombardment.
Yeah, didn't they bombard his localized area just to try to kill him?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, snipers are no joke, man. One sniper can pin down an entire company, no problem, if they're good enough. Jumping out to 1942, the Battle of Java ended with the surrender of the American, British, Dutch, Australian command to the Japanese Empire in Bandung, West Java, Dutch East Indies. That sounds like World War II right there.
It is.
Yeah. 5 years later, 1940... Go ahead.
Also, 1947, Cold War. The Truman Doctrine is proclaimed to help stem the spread of communism.
What is the Truman Doctrine? The Truman Doctrine was informally extended to become the basis of U.S. Cold War policy throughout Europe and around the world. It shifted U.S. foreign policy toward the Soviet Union from an anti-fascist alliance to a policy containment of Soviet expansion as advocated by diplomat George Kennan. Interesting. 3 years later, in 1950, the Landau air disaster caused the deaths of 80 people when the aircraft they were traveling in crashed near Singingstone, Wales. At the time, this was the world's deadliest air crash. And that's still pretty deadly, 80 people.
Yeah. Also, 1968, Mauritius achieved independence from the United Kingdom.
Nice. The UK still losing things bit by bit. So, 3 years later, in 1971, the Turkish military memorandum was sent to the Süleyman Demirel government of Turkey, and the government resigns. What is the 1971 Turkish military memorandum? The 1971 Turkish military memorandum, issued on the 12th of March of that year, was the second military intervention to take place in the Republic of Turkey, coming 11 years after its 1960 predecessor. It is known as the coup by memorandum, which the military delivered in lieu of sending tanks, and it has done previously. So they had already sent armed forces. They're like, oh, we'll effing do it again.
Yes, indeed. Also, 1989, Sir Thomas Berners-Lee submits his proposal to CERN for an information management system, which subsequently developed into the World Wide Web, the Internet.
The interwebs is a series of tubes. And CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research. It's one of the largest and most respected centers for scientific research. It also has the Large Hadron Collider. So, why can't I tab correctly? Blah! There we go. Jumping on up to 1992, Mauritius became a republic while remaining a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. Cool.
Nice.
And then in 1993, go ahead.
In 1993, North Korea announces that it will withdraw from the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons and refuse to allow inspectors access to its nuclear sites.
Yeah, that's when they started doing their nuke stuff. Yeah, proliferation. So, what is the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons? Let me look that up real quick. It's pretty self-explanatory, though, but the NPT is a multilateral treaty aimed at limiting the spread of nuclear weapons, including 3 elements: 1, non-proliferation; 2, disarmament; and 3, peaceful use of nuclear energy. These elements constitute a grand bargain between the 5 nuclear weapon states and the non-nuclear weapon states. For further information, of course, underbar for the wiki. 1993 as well, several bombs exploded in Mumbai, India, causing the deaths of about 300 people and injuring hundreds more. Damn. That's horrible.
Yes, it is horrible. Also in 1999, former Warsaw Pact members, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Poland joined NATO. Fuck NATO.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things happening right now in Eastern Europe is all this NATO stuff and all these people who had joined it in 1999 and stuff like that. So, a bunch of stuff. But yeah, like my dad and I were talking earlier about this whole Ukraine situation, and like, you know, with all the stuff that's coming out, both sides are looking bad. You know, like the U.S. ain't looking too good, Russia's not looking good, NATO's not looking like there's no goodness in the world. Like, what the hell happened? You know, like, should have listened to Eisenhower. No. Moving on up to 2003, Zoran Dinic, Prime Minister of Serbia, was assassinated in Belgrade.
Zoran?
Zoran, not Zordon.
Oh. I'm gonna say, fuck. What Power Ranger he pissed off?
The white one. Wait a minute.
Actually, yeah, because there's a thing called the Shattered Grid where it's an alternate world where Tommy didn't join them, but went back to Rita.
Oh, man. I remember...
and... Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. He becomes something called Lord Draken.
Yeah.
And he pretty much kills Rita.
Nice. Yeah, some funny information about because the White Ranger has that cool like golden like shoulder plate thing, chest plate thing. That was originally supposed to be on all the Power Rangers, but for whatever reason it wasn't, and then they put it on the White Ranger, and that's why he looks so badass.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, Lord Draken looks way more badass. He's a mixture between the Green and the White Ranger.
Yeah. Also in 2003, the World Health Organization officially released a global warning of outbreaks of severe acute respiratory syndrome, aka SARS. Here we go again. They're trying to entice fear. That's what they're doing.
Huh. President of South Korea, Roh Moon-hoot, is impeached by the National Assembly, the first such impeachment in national history.
In that nation's history. What year did that participate in?
2004.
Yeah. 5 years later, in 2009, financier Bernie Madoff pled guilty to one of the largest frauds in Wall Street's history. And he's still allowed to do stuff, so whatever. Then jumping on up to 2011, a reactor at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant exploded and released radioactivity into the atmosphere a day after the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. So, yeah, this is how it started spreading everything. If you watch yesterday's video, you'll see, or just look it up, map of Fukushima radiation. The entire Pacific Ocean is just decimated. It's awful.
It is. Also, yesterday we talked about the earthquake too.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Also, 2004, a gas explosion in the New York City neighborhood of East Harlem kills 8 and injures 70 others.
Dang.
It's horrible.
Yeah. 5 years later, in 2019, in the House of Commons, the revised EU withdrawal bill was rejected by a margin of 149 votes.
Damn.
What was the EU? Oh, that's the Brexit. That was Brexit. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said that was the European Union. But
yeah. Yeah, well, no, that was when the UK was trying to leave the EU via Brexit, and they eventually did, what, in 2021? 2021? Anyway, why don't you take this last article?
Sure. Now with all the way back to the beginning, don't worry. With a quick wave of my pen and a flick of my finger, boom, back. 2020, the United States suspends travel from Europe due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, the Kung Fu pandemic. So, before we get into person deaths, any articles intrigue you today?
Fukushima.
Yeah. Definitely. I was trying to... Oh, yeah, and North Korea withdrawing from the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons and all that stuff. Oh, and the thing that developed into the World Wide Web. That's another interesting one. Anyway, moving on into births and deaths. Why don't you start us off today? Let's switch it up with births.
Well, a spice up a life. In 1270, Charles, Count of Valois.
1735, Francois Emmanuel Guinard, Comte de Saint-Priest. French politician and diplomat. What is a Comte de Saint-Priest? So, let me look that up real quick while you're telling us about the next guy.
Okay. Wow, that 1753, Jean Denis, French politician, lawyer, jurist, journalist, and historian.
It's a lot of jobs.
Yes.
I looked up Comte de Saint-Priest, and all I got was Francois Emmanuel Guy. So whatever it was that he did, I'm going to add him to the underbar if anybody's interested. Anyway, moving on up to 1795. We have William Leon Mackenzie, a Scottish-Canadian journalist and politician who was the first mayor of Toronto, which is now in Ontario, Canada.
Damn. Also, 1832, Charles Boycott, English farmer and agent.
I wonder, like, who invented the boycott? The boycott was popularized by Charles Stewart Parnell during the Irish land agitation of 1880 to protest high rents and land evictions. The term boycott was coined after Irish tenants followed Parnell's suggested code of conduct and effectively ostracized a British estate manager, Charles Cunningham Boycott. Interesting. And I wonder if he was related to this guy. So Charles Cunningham Boycott. And wait, Charles Boycott, is this the same guy? Charles Boycott, 1832. Let me see here. Yeah, so this is the same guy. So this is he is the namesake for boycott. All right. Who was born in 1835? In 1835, we have.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
In 1835, we have Simon Newcomb, Canadian-U.S. astronomer and mathematician.
Newcomb versus Oldcomb. 1846, we have Gabriel Tard, French sociologist and criminologist. That's a very unfortunate last name. 1863, we have Gabriele D'Annunzio, an Italian soldier, journalist, poet, and playwright. You still there?
Yeah. Also, we have... Wait, did we do Gabriel Tarde?
Yeah, we're already in the second, 1863.
Okay, in 1863 we have Vladimir Vernadetsky, Russian and Ukrainian mineralogist and chemist.
I bet he's not feeling too good right now.
No.
Well, other than the fact that he's dead, but the fact is two countries of origin are at war with each other. Anyway, we have 1864, W.H.R. Rivers was born today. He was an English anthropologist, neurologist, ethnologist, and psychiatrist. But what was his full name? William Hayes Rivers. Interesting. 1888.
1888 we have Hans Kapperbusch, German conductor.
Yeah. His last name sounds like a slang, Nappersbusch. You know, it sounds like some kind of slang for something that is a little risque. Moving on up to 1908, David Marshall was born to date. He was a Singaporean lawyer and politician who was the first chief minister of Singapore. In 1917, we have Leonard Chess, a U.S. record company executive and co-founder of Chess Records. 1922, Lane Kirkland, a U.S. sailor and union leader. I wonder who started the Kirkland products. History. Kirkland's was founded by Carl Kirkland and Robert Kirkland. This guy is not them at all. In 1966.
In 1927, we have Emmett Leaf, professor of electrical engineering and co-inventor of three-dimensional holograph.
Yeah, holography. Like, what is three-dimensional holography? Yeah, there we go. Three-dimensional holography is the science and art of creating holograms. A hologram, also known as holograph, is a recording of an interface pattern that uses diffraction to reproduce a 3D light field. It results in a 3D visualization that retains depth, parallax, and other properties of the original scene. I'm going to add this to the underbar here. Let's see here. And there was another one that oh well, I just got confused. Anyway, moving on up to 1929, Win Tin was born today, Burmese journalist and politician who co-founded the National League for Democracy. Who else was born today?
Also, who was born today? Where are we at?
1930.
1930, we have Anthony Auckland, British former diplomat and provost of Eton College. What is that?
A provost is a senior administrative officer in certain colleges and universities, or the head of a chapter in a cathedral. A provost is a senior academic administrator at many institutions of higher education in the United States and Canada, and the equivalent of a deputy vice chancellor at some institutions of the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia. Interesting. Then in 1936, we have Virginia Hamilton, U.S. children's book author. I put in a note to look her picture up because on my source, she looked a little, yeah, not all up there in the head. No, images, damn it. There we go. This one. I don't know, she just doesn't look all right. Like, she has this kind of a psycho vibe to her picture right there. I'm going to post it in Underbar for you, or not Underbar, in the Mike List channel for you here. Anyway, moving on up to 1945, we have Anne Summers, an Australian feminazi writer, editor, publisher, and public servant. Quote-unquote servant. I don't know much about her, but like whenever I see anything about feminists, I'm just like, yeah. That's how things are going today. I can't support anything, unfortunately.
1947, we have Mitt Romney, U.S. businessman and politician who was the 70th governor of Massachusetts.
Yep. Mitt Romney also, I know he was involved in some kind of politics that I don't agree with, but I don't remember, so...
And yes, Xander, 1957, Marlon Jackson, U.S. singer, songwriter, and dancer. Yes, he's related. He is part of the Jackson 5.
Okay.
That is Michael Jackson's brother.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. 1962, we have Darryl Strawberry, a U.S. baseball player and minister. Why does that name sound so Strawberry? Like, I've heard of Strawberry. So.
19...
Yep.
But we're talking about a different Strawberry. I'm talking about the town in Red Dead.
Ah.
It's nice.
Yeah. 1969.
Also,
go ahead.
1969, Graham Coxon, English singer, songwriter, and guitarist.
His name kind of fits the year, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yes, it does.
1 year later, 1970, we have Dave Eggers, a U.S. author and screenwriter. And I have to look this up just out of curiosity. I hope to God his middle name does not start with an N. So, Dave Eggers, 1970. Dave, he doesn't have a middle name, apparently.
He killed his own middle name.
Dave Eggers. Yeah, he does not have a middle name. Alright. Well, I guess he dodged a bullet there. 1976, we have Zhao Wei, a Chinese actress, film director, producer, and pop singer.
Yep, and then 1979, we have Pete Doherty, English. Yeah, Pete Doherty, English musician, songwriter, actor, poet, writer, and artist.
That's another guy with a lot of jobs.
Man, he sounds so familiar, though. What did he do?
Let me look him up. Pete Doherty.
I'm doing that, too.
I'm not seeing anything. What else was he involved in? Co-frontman of the Libertines, which formed the Kara Barat in 1997. Well, I have no idea, but I'm going to post this in the Mike List channel for you, and I'm going to post this in the Underbar as well. Last but not least, in 1982, we have Sam Levine, a U.S. actor and comedian, and I wonder if he's related to Avril Lavigne. Gotta look that up, but before I do, I'm going to add this into the Underbar here. Sam Levine. Let's see here.
No, man, she's Canadian.
Sam Levine. Second. It's not, so he has no siblings, it looks like. Anyway.
Yeah, she's Canadian anyway.
Crazy Canadians. Anyway, moving on into deaths. I'm going to start us off here in 417. We have Innocent I, a Pope of the Catholic Church.
Damn. He was innocent.
Was he, though?
That'd be some shit. His name is innocent, but he's the most evil fucker you'll ever see.
Isn't it how things go?
Yeah. Also, 1022, we have Simeon the New Theologian.
Yeah, I was just wondering who's the old theologian. Dang, he was born today 1,000 years ago. Wow. That's pretty cool. Jumping on up to 1539, Thomas Boleyn, the first Earl of Wiltshire, an English diplomat and politician.
In 1925, we have Sun Yat-sen, Chinese physician and politician who was the first president of the Republic of China.
1942, we have William Henry Bragg, an English physicist and chemist and mathematician. Not to brag, of course, you know, but... 1955.
In 1905, Theodor Pallweiler, German author, best known for his anti-war novel, which was WTF.
No, it wasn't that. Like, the source just said that he's known for that novel, but it didn't tell me which one. Side war novel. Stalingrad? Maybe? Was... I don't know. Berlin, The Kaiser Goes, Moscow. Well, I don't know which novel it was that they're specifically saying, but I'm going to add this to the underbar as well, so anybody who's interested, they can look that up and all that stuff. 1974, we have George D. Sachs, a U.S. banker and businessman. And I wonder if he was related to the guy who invented the saxophone. So.
No, I'm guessing Goldman Sachs. No.
George D. Sachs. He was the chairman of the board of Exchange International Corporation and Chicago's former Exchange National Bank. He was the president of Sachs Enterprises, Inc., and was a business entrepreneur who owned the Saxony Hotel, the first luxury hotel to be built in Miami Beach. Interesting. I don't think... I'm not going to look into if he had anything to do with Goldman Sachs or anything like that. Jumping on up to 2003, Howard Fast, a U.S. novelist and screenwriter, and I wonder if he could speed read. You know, with that name. Gotta go fast. Who else died today?
I can do both of them?
Go ahead.
No, after Howard Fast. Dick Harder, U.S. basketball player and coach.
That's an unfortunate name. Yeah, a very bad name.
Okay, there you go. You do that one, I do the last one.
Okay, 2015, we have Michael Graves, a U.S. architect and academic who designed the Portland building and the Humana building. And I want to look that up real quick before we continue. The Portland building.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty cool looking building. Really cool. And then what's the Humana building? The Humana building. Oh, that's pretty cool too. I can see his architecture signature right there. So those are pretty cool buildings that he designed there.
Mhm.
Also,
2021, Ronald DeFeo Jr., U.S. war criminal. What he did was the killings in Amityville.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says here, Ronald Joseph DeFeo Jr. was a U.S. mass murderer who was tried and convicted for the 1974 killings of his father, mother, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters in Amityville, Long Island, New York. Condemned to 6 sentences of 25 years to life, DeFeo died in custody in 2021. Good.
Yep, that's true. That was true, and you made a movie about it, the Amityville Horror.
I was wondering if those two were linked. I have yet to see that movie. What a surprise. Uncultured AO has not seen a certain movie. Anyway, that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links you may be interested in, which also include...
Soviet TV on Twitch.
And everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, I know we're a little late today, but we normally stream at around 12 Pacific time.
2 p.m. Central Time.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am Aoxander.
I am Locke.
And you are you. Until tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. You'll see us tomorrow. Toodles!
And also, if you're bored, join the army. Be a man.
I don't think joining the army right now is a smart idea. Be sent off to Ukraine.
Gotta join now or get drafted.
True. And it's not like Canada has anywhere to go for draft dodging like it was in Vietnam. Canada's not a good place right now. Anyway, adios.